It's Friday at 5:30, and I am all wired and excited because I get to talk to my friend Larry, the horror cat dad, affectionately known on YouTube, and previously winner of YouTube Entertainer of the Month, which I lost today. So it's a sad day here on the Inda house. I brought much shame to our dojo, Larry. I apologize. But
Hey, but you were horror YouTuber of the month. You're the Owl King. No, if anything, I needed to catch up with you. So at
thank you, man.
least
Thank
I
you.
got one, you got one. So we're
But
good,
between the
man.
two of us, we're gathering the Infinity Stones. We will Thanos
Exactly.
this bitch together, my friend. Um, but it's nice to see you. Every Friday we are here. I don't know. We start at 5:30, but we're filling Rob's old spot, which used to be at 6. Do you think we should move to 6, or do you like 5:30? What are your thoughts on our current time slot, Larry?
Um, I'd say it's really up to you, man. I'm fine with because I feel like we kind of go over sometimes, and we kind of go over what Rob would do his
Mm-hmm.
time. So, I mean, it's really if it's easier for you to start at a later time, I'm fine with that. You know.
I was just curious. I'm you watching along, either currently in the chat or later on the replay. Let us know in the comments or in the chat what works best for you. See, this is another thing. I see our friend Gareth, Video Tasties, is here. Sometimes Gareth starts his streams, so we're starting just as he's wrapping up, or there might be a little overlap. I don't want any beef between us and Gareth. We've already had one Revolutionary War.
No, I mean we can totally move it ahead to 6, man. That's fine. I mean, I have no problem with
Oh,
that. You know. And
we'll
yeah,
do an
like you
audience.
said,
Let's let the audience weigh in and let's see what they say. If a bunch of people jump in and say they love this 5:30 thing or the 6:30 Eastern, we'll have to listen to our people. We're men of the people, if nothing else. Um, so our friend Russell is here. Our friend Jay Harang is here. Our friend Gareth from
hey, how's
Video
it going, guys?
Tasties is here. Let's see here. Either is
Gareth.
obviously better for UK people. Jay points out, yeah, it doesn't matter. It's what 6 or 7 hours ahead there. So yeah. Jay and Rusty. Hey, our friend JT Horror Discussions is here.
Hey,
JT's
JT.
awesome. Yeah, JT's the only other person on at the same time as me in the middle of the night, so I often end up shouting out JT, like, make sure you go over there and check out whatever JT's got going on. So, adopted and Brit raised, Russell says. I wanted to stop hopping in quick. Got the Day of the Dead with Dave soon. Oh, well, that's going to be a
Oh,
good one.
nice.
I'm assuming Savage Zombie Reviews is who you're talking about. Yeah, we big fan of our friends over there, the UK crew. So glad you folks could be here. Hey, JT. Hey, Russ. Folks are saying hello. And it's nice to have them. To begin with, this week, I think the biggest news of all the newses was the passing of Richard Lewis. I assume you're a fan of what Curb Your Enthusiasm and other stuff too, or what's your favorite Richard Lewis stuff?
I mean, obviously, Men in Tights is great in that, and then of course Curb Your Enthusiasm. I mean, it's just it's he's playing himself a little bit more exaggerated or neurotic if you want to look at it like that. I don't know. What
Yeah,
about you?
um, I like him in a lot of stuff. He was oh god, he had some sort of teacher show, I believe, where he played he was on a sitcom. But I primarily know him. Main stuff I think of is this movie called Game Day, where he basically plays like a college basketball coach of a small town, and it's this crazy movie. It's one of the most like insane sports movies I've ever seen. Richard Lewis plays like this Pat Riley type basketball coach who spends the entire day of the big game getting coked up and drunk with all the students and like having sex with the college girls, and like it's this insane movie about like I don't know, kind of Revenge of the Nerds, but at the end it ends up with like a shooting, and it's the most insane sports movie ever made. It's rarely known. Game Day, it's called.
When did this come
Um,
out?
Probably mid 90s. I have it on VHS, but I would frequently see it on Showtime bouncing around. So it makes me wonder if it was made for Showtime.
Hmm.
But he's like a total, yeah, Pat Riley clone. He's got the slick back hair. And then when I was a kid, Richard Lewis used to be in the front row, like next to Spike Lee at all the Knicks games. So whenever like the Bulls would play the Knicks and Michael Jordan and Patrick Ewing would play, there'd be Richard Lewis in the front row, like just looking all, slick with his black blazer on and his hair all combed back, looking like a vampire.
Oh,
But yeah, when I was a kid, he was regularly on Johnny Carson and David Letterman. So of course, Night Owl guy, got to see a bunch of his comedy, you know. But Jay says he's seen Game Day. Yeah, it's a weird one, but
Huh.
it sets itself up like a traditional, you know, rah rah sports movie, small college Hoosiers thing. But no, it's all just, yeah, frat parties and drug use, and there's like a crazy like dark ending. It's real dark comedy. It's a lot like Very Bad Things, or one of those where the misery of the characters is kind of funny.
Huh. I'm
Our
seeing
friend,
the cover of it right now. I was like, man, I've never heard of this movie.
yeah,
Apparently,
I had it on VHS. I bought it from Blockbuster cheap. That's the only reason I know about it.
oh, it's like $28 on Amazon right now for
Oh,
the
really?
DVD. For the
Oh,
DVD.
wow.
So
I'll have to dig into my old VHS collection and see if uh, make some money off the passing of beloved Richard Lewis.
hey, Monroy, how's it
Um,
going, brother?
yeah, Monroy's here. I had to say hi. He's the guy I would make sure he often joins us for these. We're glad to have him. Mr. Chabot is here. Hi, you got some hauls today. Well, that's cool to hear. I'm sure
Nice.
you'll make a video. We'll check that out, and I'm sure you're probably also working on your memoirs. Um, JT says, yeah, it was a big loss. He loved Curb and his comedy. I enjoyed Richard Lewis. I thought he was actually a better version of Woody Allen. Like Woody Allen's stand-up was all like very neurotic and kind of like introspective. And I thought Richard Lewis actually did a better job of that, like being nebbish or whatever the word you want to use is.
And likable.
Yeah. Um, and Anthony also says, rip Virgil and Ole Anderson. I didn't realize Virgil had passed away. Some meat sauce on it. Well, that's a sad one. Well, rip
Anderson, Arn Anderson? Or who? Which Anderson?
Ole Anderson, the Arn Anderson's tag team partner. They were supposedly brothers, but they weren't real brothers in real life. They're both just
Okay.
from Minnesota. But yeah, when I was a kid, Ole and Arn Anderson were like they were the bad guys along with Midnight Express.
Yeah, Arn, man, the enforcer.
The Enforcer, exactly.
Yeah.
Russell loved Men in Tights. Yeah, I completely forgot he was in that until his passing, and then I saw some of his clips of his best and most famous movies, and I saw him in the tights, looking all bummed out. Was he in Spaceballs? It seems like
Mm,
I'm drawing a blank. I
oh
don't think
no,
he
I
was.
don't think it was.
I think I'm just confusing it with Men in Tights. He seems like a guy who would be in every Mel Brooks movie. Like it seems like they would just work well together. Monroy says he was just stopping by real quick before going to the gym, so he's going to get buff. That a boy.
Do it
Everybody
to it,
says, hey,
brother.
Juan. Spicoli, reader. Hey, Don and Larry. Happy Friday, everyone. Welcome, Spicoli, sir.
Hey, how's it
Shaka
going?
brother. He's often here for my late night chats. Last night we did 7 with Morgan Freeman and Brad Pitt. And of course, Spicoli was front row. Started the chat immediately. That's why we love having him around. Spicy's the man. Let's see here. How are you guys, by the way? He just got his VHS hauls. Jerry Lewis was Jim Carrey. Oh, yeah, I guess so. It's a fair equivalent. Yeah, Russell points out the Four Horsemen with Ole Anderson. Yeah, exactly. He knows that's where most people would probably know him. He's one of these fingers at some point or another. So. What is the life expectancy of a pro wrestler? It seems to be about 35. That's a good observation.
Yeah, that's a good assumption for the most part.
Yeah, the average life expectancy of a professional wrestler has to be way less than others. I think they just take such a beating and then they start medicating. And then once you start medicating, that's a bad road for anybody to get down when you're trying to cover these things. Speaking of bummers, did you see pictures from the new Crow? I've been getting bad feedback, and I'm in between. We saw what's his name, Bill Skarsgård.
Yep.
Yeah, I get my Skarsgårds confused. They run together.
Yeah, there's too many.
There's too many Skarsgårds. Yeah, I shouldn't be able to spell Skarsgård as easily as I can these days. But I was flipping through my Instagram and I saw some kind of like emo guy, kind of all wet with a leather jacket, and I thought it was like the cover of an album. And I was like, "Who is this dude?" And
I know.
Our friend Cinephile Sanity called it a cologne commercial. And I was like, it's kind of did look like a little bit.
Oh man, that's funny.
But dude is just all abs. Like he's like malnourished abs. Like it doesn't look like he could whoop your ass. It looks like he needs a sandwich. you know.
Yeah, it's oh man, it's rough. It's
Well, I know
rough.
you're a Crow guy. I was anxious to hear what your thoughts were on it.
I'm not too happy with it, man. I've seen a bunch of the comments and stuff on it, and it's just like, so, I mean, the comments are absolute gold. From the one of my favorites is, "What in the Machine Gun Kelly is this?" And yeah, look, it's like, that, and it's like, when did Eric Draven, or no, so I'm guessing Eric Draven is a, SoundCloud rapper now in this rendition, or in this iteration of the film. I mean, oh my god, man.
Yeah, but there we go. Our friend Kara and Oscar the cat are here, and she says
There
the
you
new
go.
version of Crow looks like. Yeah, she's saying people are looking like say it looks like Machine Gun Kelly. She thinks he looks kind of like Riff Raff. I was reminded of the Jared Leto Joker, kind of like they were going with an edgy kind of punk look. Um, I wonder, are we falling into it was better the first time disease? Because I think it's hard for most people when they have an image in their mind of what something's supposed to look like when they change it, and we're used to the Brandon Lee Crow. So is anything ever really going to be able to? I think we talked previously about Jason Momoa being the Crow, and I was just like, I just don't see it. But
Yeah, I mean, I see it more than what this looks like. I
yeah,
see it
this is
more
way
like that.
skinny. This is way skinny.
So, I mean, one can argue. Now, I got into a civil debate. There was nothing, we didn't start yelling at each other or anything. But in the original graphic novel, he has like a rocker style mullet,
Okay.
like an '80s rocker type mullet. So that I can pass. That this version has a mullet, but the tattoos, man, really? Like,
Yeah.
seriously, like, you're gonna and that was the first thing I thought before the Machine Gun Kelly thing. I was like, "Oh, I guess they're going the, Jared Leto Suicide Squad Joker in a
Yeah.
way." Yeah, I'm just like, "Oh my god, man." And they
Or at
just,
least
I don't know.
at least in the way when the Jared Leto Joker came out, people like put pictures of him next to the Die Antwerp thing. Did you ever see that where they took Harley Quinn and them and they put them right next to Die Antwerp and it was the man and the woman. They're both tatted up the same and everything. This
Mm.
does look like, yeah, like some Machine Gun Kelly type stuff. Like it looks like they tried to copy a rock star and they just tried to think of what like the modern rock star looks like. But I mean, I guess his power is supernatural. So he doesn't need to look strong and beefy because he doesn't need to be strong and beefy. He's undead or whatever. But I don't know. He looks so thin. There's nothing about him that looks impressive. Like he looks like a ghoul more than he looks like someone who could kick your ass.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, it's just the tattoos, man. It's just looking at them, just, ugh.
Yeah.
I mean, I have nothing against tattoos. I have one myself, but it's just like, and you got some there too. But I don't know, man. I just can't. Just looking at it, it's just so like, oh. And then
Yeah,
the
like
the
I said,
type, what like the types of tattoos, and it's just like, I feel like it's just more for like the shock value, or like trying to make him seem tough.
I thought like the tattoo on his chest, he looked like a skinny stripper. Like sometimes they get like the big tattoo across the boobs. Like that's kind of what it reminded me of. Like, I mean, like I said, he looks like a rocker, and I know the character is supposed to be like a rock and roll god or whatever kind of thing. That the rock aspect is supposed to be there, the rock star musician thing. But yeah, I don't know. I'll give it a watch. It's a hard picture to judge by because it's so dark and rainy, and I mean, like the picture itself is kind of a blue tint to it and everything. Like I'd have to see the movie clips before I can really judge.
Well, I mean, there's the other pictures where they show, I guess, him like normal, or not, or before he becomes, the crow or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
There's a couple pictures of that floating around too, you know.
The Eric
And I still,
Draven as opposed to the Crow or whatever.
yeah, I just,
Yeah,
I can't, man. I so love the original, and I'll even can't, I can't even give a pass. I won't give a pass to like the other ones. Two was okay. Um, Three, the one with Eric Mabius or Mobius. Mabius, is that how you say his name? I don't know. With the one with
sure.
Kristen Dunst and Fred
Yo,
Ward, the
nailed it.
Fred, the Fred Ward Crow movie. Even that one, I'll give
Um,
that one a pass. But I don't know. Wicked Prayer was horrible. This looks, I don't know. Maybe if I see a trailer, I don't know. I'm waiting to see when that's gonna drop.
what was the one with the banging soundtrack? Was that part 2 where it had Filter? Was that Crow Salvation? Was that maybe part 3?
Well, actually,
Um,
the first three had like some pretty
some
decent
good soundtrack.
soundtracks. The first one is amazing. I love that soundtrack. Two still
Yeah.
has some good stuff. It has like early Deftones and stuff like that. And
Is
then
that the one with Filter? Hey man, I'm not your boy, or is that Crow Salvation? Or is Crow Salvation the second one? I get them all
Salvation
confused.
is the third one.
The third one.
City of
Okay.
Angels was two. Um,
I think
I'm
City
trying
of
to.
Angels.
I
I
think
think City of
Filter.
Angels
Let
is
me
the one I'm
see. I
thinking
think
of.
Filter was on the. I think it was on the third one.
Okay, because that soundtrack was real popular. I remember that one was popular. I remember that first one was a big deal because it was another movie in the '90s, and they had to have the soundtrack to go with it. That was part of the '90s movie package.
Hmm. Yeah, as I'm saying, I mean the scores for all these were like really good. They even had like one song that had I think it was like Ministry with like Fear Factory, the singer from Fear Factory or something like that. Yeah, had Monster Magnet on Salvation. Actually, you know what? Yeah, the best things that was on Crow Salvation.
Okay, there you go. Now Jay and Kara are in a heated discussion about how some people just look like they smell. So yeah, I feel you. I feel you.
Yeah, I've
So
known people like that.
even Oscar's cracking up.
See, we have both our HR team and our legal team
Mhm.
here discussing this.
This is official business. Yeah, our legal
Hmm.
counsel Jay Harang, and then the head of HR Kara and Oscar. Russell says 7 was great last night. Thank you, Russell. I appreciate you hanging out, man. That was an extra late one. We were up till almost 4 a.m. Eastern. So yeah, it was a long one. Hey, there's Sean Cinephile
Hey,
Sandy.
Sean, how's it going?
We just brought you up earlier, Sean. I used your joke about how the new Crow looks like a cologne commercial. Happy Friday, guys. Yeah, happy
First
Friday to you, and
Savage.
happy Friday to all you watching. We appreciate you hanging out with us here and to wrap up, to kick off your weekend, as it were. So we'd appreciate it if you hit the like button. And if you're not familiar with our show, every other week we bounce back and forth on each other's channel. Tonight we're on my channel. Next week we will be on Larry's, which means last week we were on Larry's channel. Exactly. So it's an easy system to follow, but to get the complete set, you gotta follow us both or subscribe to us both. So if you're not familiar with my friend here, and you're or vice versa, if you're not familiar with me, make sure to hit subscribe, make some new friends, meet some new friends in the chat. Lots of cool people here.
I'm
Filter
pointing the right
Song
way.
and Hangman was the theme from Tales from the Crypt Demon Knight. Oh, I didn't realize that Nice Shot was from Demon Knight. That's nice. Interesting.
That's another great movie, Demon Knight.
Oh, Demon Knight's fantastic. Billy Zane.
Oh yeah, that movie's
Um,
great, and then but Billy Zane is just. Yeah, I think I was telling Sean, I was like, Billy Zane is like the best part of that movie, and that movie's
mhm.
great. But I mean, Billy Zane he just eats it up, man. He's
Oh,
great in that film.
that's one of the times where a character who's just chewing up scenery, or an actor is just chewing up scenery, and they steal the movie because of it. Like Jim Carrey does that in almost all his movies. He's just so much bigger than everyone else around him that he lifts himself up. And Billy Zane's just takes over that movie by being just huge. Like, I don't know. I'm glad to see Zane take over like that. Um,
I feel like it's a
Crow.
role you don't really see him in.
No, prior to that, I mean, I think he was like in the Phantom, and was it before or after? I think it was before Titanic,
Yeah,
right?
before Titanic.
Yeah. So yeah,
After
Billy Zane.
even also after Tombstone.
Okay, there you go. With that cool ass mustache he has. Crow isn't looking good, unfortunately. Yeah, we're all sort of not excited about it, but it's one of those things where we like the property, so we might check it out. Did you ever watch that Crow TV show, Larry? The
Hell
series?
no, man.
Look at you, just shot it down. Didn't even give it a second.
That's
Oh,
the
there's
real
the
classic.
classic.
That's a classic right there.
Yeah, I told you. See, the rocker aspect is so key to him. So there, even that one comes with the guitar. But yeah, I'm not feeling that's a good call. Whoever first came up with Machine Gun Kelly there, that is sort of what he's looking like. You definitely got to see the original Crow movie, Reed. Everything else is meh, in my opinion. Yeah, I don't know. Did they ever make any Crow video games or anything? I never played
Yeah,
any.
they did make a horrible Crow made a video game. You know, you would think they would make a video game of the best one, but they made a video game of the second one, the City of Angels one.
Oh, okay.
The controls are horrible. The graphics look absolutely ju- just disgusting.
Was that for
Uh,
PlayStation 1?
I think it was for PlayStation One, and I want to say I think it was for Saturn also.
Okay, there you go. I vaguely remember a Crow video game, as now that you're saying it, that didn't play very well. Yeah, yeah, I do kind of remember Saturn or Genesis or what. It was old, but it was like it did not play well. Um, the original one is a must see. Kara agrees. Kara's always got great taste. That's the HR department. She knows. Billy Zane is great in everything, even bad movies. That's been legally stamped now, so habeas corpus and whatnot.
Right?
Yes,
Notarized, all that stuff.
copyright, trademark.
Hmm.
Yeah, so Sean says thanks to Russell. Sean, don't mess with the OG films. See, I'm in between. Sometimes I understand why they do remakes. Like The Crow, we all have Crow awareness. Like you don't have to instruct us on the character and who he is. Like most of us kind of understand. It's a comic book guy. More of us know like he's a nighttime resurrected from the dead character, and people who are way into it have seen all the movies and the show and everything, love that video game we just ripped on. So there's levels of it. So you don't have to teach the audience anything. You can just be like, new Crow, and we know what it is. Otherwise, you got to show me a trailer and educate me on the
Yeah.
character and who they are. So we're just going to always get remakes and reboots and whatever. There's the reason there's been like 9 Spider-Man over the course of my life. It's
Well,
just
my thing is, if they wanted to remake it, why don't they just do a different story? Like, why does it have to be Eric Draven? I mean, the other Crow movies, the sequels have different. It's not Eric Draven; it's somebody else. You know.
See, I
I
didn't
mean,
even know that. That's how
even in the
unfamiliar with the others I am.
even in the comics are awesome. They have like different iterations. Like, it's not Eric Draven; it's a different person for each. Like, it's like a mini series each comic. You
Oh,
know?
okay. So the Crow is almost like a curse of bringing back someone from the life or from dead more than it is like a one shot off character like Moon Knight or something. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
it's gotcha. See, that shows how uneducated in the lore I am. I remember when was it a Dark Horse Comics or who was that when it came out?
It was by can't remember. Was it James O'Barr did them? But I'm trying to remember which was it Dark Horse? I don't think it was Dark Horse. Let me think. Um, Published it. I don't know. I don't know. I'd have to check it out. I'd have to do some research. Those I don't remember. I have one. The one series I picked up was really cool. It was a Native American.
Hmm.
The main character was a Native American, and he had gotten killed. And yeah, the artwork is great. I mean, the only thing that's in color is the cover. Everything else is always in black and white. So it was really cool. There was also another one where it's actually a woman
Okay.
that was coming
A
back.
lady crow? Impossible.
So
Huh.
progressive.
So progressive. Sean says thinks he could be wrong, but he thinks Zane was first movie was Critters. I don't know what Billy Zane's first movie was.
Hmm.
Jay, let's go get G. I know he's passionate about this topic. The Lee curse. Oh, he's talking about the Bruce Lee curse, and later on the Brandon Lee curse. Yeah, the family Lee. Yeah, he loves the Crow. He is in Critters, and our friend the professor has showed up.
Hey,
Greetings and
professor.
salutations. I hope your evil machinations are going well, my friend. Everybody's welcoming the professor because, of course, we are. He's the man. I actually the other night when I was going through and I was putting the chapters in our Aliens watch along. For those of you who don't know, Larry and I got together last Sunday night for a special showing of Aliens, and we watched it and discussed the film. And in there, the professor posed an interesting question that I missed a fine print to. He asked the animatronics of the mother queen bee alien from Aliens, the hive mother, or the animatronic machine T-Rex, but just the animatronic robots if they had a rock'em sock'em fight. But I went ahead and just had both of them as if they were real thing. I included acid blood right away as a reason the mother alien might win. So I totally dropped the ball on your question, Professor. A week later, I've given it a lot of thought, and I'm still going to go with the alien, but that T-Rex is badass, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with the not the T-Rex. I'm gonna have to go with the Queen Alien. I mean,
Yeah,
I
even
feel
without the
she's
acid blood.
yeah, even without the acid blood. I mean, she's got the extra mouth. She's got those big arms, whereas the T-Rex is just like, I
Yeah,
mean,
exactly. The reach is what you get. It's like boxing. It's all about reach. You know what I mean? And she's got that tail.
hmm
It's
yeah,
real.
that
Yeah.
tail is. I mean, you saw how it was like whipping at what's her name at Ripley and stuff. I mean, yeah.
Hmm.
I mean, I don't know. T-Rex can like swipe, but I mean, I
I
don't
feel
know.
like the T-Rex, if you had to play them as video game characters, like Mortal Kombat, but they didn't. They just were the animatronics. I'm going to go with the Mother Alien over the T-Rex. Professor points out, yeah, the Jared Leto Joker thing. Movie studio. Well, this design was all the rage for Jared Joker. Let's use it on the Crow and bank on that memory. It will make billions. Yeah, I think that's been the general consensus as Machine Gun Kelly or the Jared Leto Joker. Jared Leto Joker. But I do think Sean's pointing out that it looks like a perfume or a cologne commercial might be the winner so far.
Savage.
Um, Russell says one of Sting's personas was the Crow. Yeah, I like
hmm
that Crow. Well, especially like the character then, because they had that whole thing where like the whole company went bad and turned evil, and everyone was NWO. So then like
Yeah.
Sting used to just go up to the rafters and look down on everything, just so sad and disappointed in everyone. And it was a cool character. He never had to wrestle. He just had to stand there and look upset, like, you guys, you're letting me down so much.
Yeah, it's weird,
Um,
man, because you see all that stuff and it's just like now hearing stories of back then, because that was the best time of WCW in my opinion. I actually was watching WCW a lot more than uh, WWF at the time, and 'cause in the '80s I was like always watching WWF, and
yeah.
no, just the whole NWO thing, and then it kind of started getting ridiculous with like, okay, now everybody's a part of the NWO. It's starting to get a
Mm,
little like you were just saying, everybody was a bad guy except Sting and maybe like Goldberg and stuff. But
yeah.
there's like
Well,
different factions, and I don't
that's
know.
why Goldberg got famous. He was like the only good guy. Even Dusty Rhodes turned bad. Like everybody
hmm
went bad. So yeah. Jay points out that IMDb says that Billy Zane's first movie was Back to the Future. I don't even remember. Well, who is he in Back to the Future?
He's one of Biff's guys.
Oh, really? I never
hmm
see. There you go. Never even paid attention. Is he the guy with the 3D glasses?
No, that's not him.
No, that's my guy. It's out of all of
But
them who I want to be friends with. I want to be friends with the 3D glasses guy.
if you go back and watch it, he's the pretty boy of the bunch. That's how
Oh, okay.
like I was like, because I see it, and I was like, oh, that's Billy Zane. When I realized it was him, and I was like, he's like the prettiest one of these guys. Like, what's he doing with these schlubs?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Because you got the one guy, like you said, with the 3D glasses. The other guy has like a weird face, and then you got Biff, who just looks like a meathead.
That's him. In the chest busting scene in Alien with John Hurt, the cast didn't know what was going to happen, and their reactions were real. Oh, I didn't know. I think actually you brought that up, didn't you, Larry?
Yeah,
Hey, our
yeah, I knew
friend
about that one.
Jason, the Ginger Ninja, is here.
Hey, how's it going, Jason?
How's it going, Jason? High five, my brother. Yeah, Kara knows. Yeah, 3D glasses guy. Uh-huh. She knows. That's we all remember Biff's crew. It's like the one dude with the 3D glasses. Same with whenever I see anybody with one of those orange vests on, I want to go ask them if they jump ship so bad. Like, hey, would you jump ship?
Thinks he's gonna drown.
Yeah, exactly. I think you were looking at how cutting edge 3D glasses were in the 50s. That's what I mean. It shows that you've been around. You're a world traveler. You're not some square that doesn't get out. You know what I mean? I've been to a 3-dimensional movie. Our friend Professor says, question for the panel and chat as I see Jay. Am I reminded of a recent video he did? Have you ever had a hot teacher as seen in the movies? Because I sure as hell didn't. I was robbed of hot teachers. Larry, you had a hot teacher? Van Halen over there? What do you got for me? You got it bad? You got it bad? You're hot for teacher?
There was one in middle school, and all the guys were like, "Holy cow, she was such a bitch, though."
That took a wicked turn, like a bitch in a good way. Like she you
No,
wanted her to, you wanted detention. So I'll clap your erasers.
No, man, she was like,
No.
as soon as we came over, like, oh wow, she's hot, and then all of a sudden, it's like, then she'd open her mouth, and it's like, oh man, this is gonna suck. She was like super strict. And then in high school, I had another one where like I didn't even realize she was a teacher. Like I was sitting, like, class was about to start, and there's this woman who was younger at the front of the class, and then me and my buddy were like, man, she's kind of cute. And all of a sudden she gets up and she's like, okay, I'm your teacher. And I'm like,
Could teach
uh,
me some stuff.
right? It's like, I'm in high school. I mean, I'm almost of legal age. Should be fine, right?
Yeah. Um, I
What
had
about you?
uh, I had one in high school and one in college. Most of my life, no. When I was in kindergarten, I remember thinking the kindergarten teacher was a pretty lady, but I don't remember, like, obviously in kindergarten, you don't have any crushes on anybody. Um, in high school, there was a teacher that had some gams on her. Like, she used to wear that Ally McBeal suit, like the business suit up top with the like short skirt. She would always wear high heels. Way risque when I think about it for a teacher in high school. Like, to be putting on the tall heels to go teach high school is a lot. But I think that was the first time I realized that women's legs were nice to look at. And then in college, the Spanish teacher was muy
Ooh,
caliente. Oof, yeah, ay
muy
caramba.
muy.
Muy, yeah, that was just, yeah, she was fantastic. And actually, one of my friends, a girl, had said, like, oh, you have Miss what's her name for this class, and she was like, she's hot. So like even the women knew that Spanish teacher had it going on. Yeah, she was quite a specimen. But all the rest of them, my entire life, looked like, yeah, bad lunchroom ladies. They all looked like bulldogs with wigs. Like, yeah, they were all brutal, all brutal. Let me see. Where was I? Jason says yes, he did. See, that's what I mean. I think we all maybe had one or two, but tops. Nobody had a bunch. Like, no one's. There's no
No.
plethora of hot teachers floating around. Um, John Hurt reprised that scene in Spaceballs. Oh no, not again. I do remember that. Um, let's see here. There was one at my school, but I think the kids in her class sexually harassed her to tears, and she left. Yeah. This was a
Dang.
non-fee paying school. Oh yeah, public school. There you go. I'll clap your erasers. Oh, Don, I didn't think anybody caught that, Kara. It was HR. Of course, HR heard it. There's
HR
nothing getting
hears
by
everything.
them. Yeah, exactly. Um, saw Flesh for Frankenstein in 3D of the cinemas on 3 tabs of sit. Wow, Russell always has the Gonzo stories for us. I appreciate that. Sometimes I feel like I'm the degenerate, and then Russell just lets me know.
I mean,
I'm
Russell's a
hired
man of
out.
the world, man.
Yeah, he is. He's been around. Business dress teacher with glasses? Me likey. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Now, at the time, it didn't occur to me that she was trying to go out of her way to be pretty, but in hindsight, it's like all the other teachers dressed one way and then she dressed another way. And I like, yeah, she was the only one in high heels. I don't know what she was up to. Maybe she was trying to get me to murder her husband or something. In hindsight, it all comes together.
All coming back to me.
Yeah, exactly. I need to look her up.
Is like, your husband still
Uh,
around?
yeah, exactly. Or did somebody else beat me to it? To think somewhere there's a group of teacher having a similar discussion about kids. Yeah, exactly. There was this one beefy kid. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, that's
Um,
not, man. I could tell you the story about, like, when I worked at these were at when I worked at a restaurant. It was a bar and tavern. I won't say the place, but we had happy hour, and then there was this one Friday. These two teachers, don't know where they were from, and boy, were they like, I was a lot bigger than I am now, and not as striking as I am now. But I was there, and no, yeah, and then so I come up, and then these ladies were clearly, I could tell they were flirting with me, and they tell me, "Oh, this and this. We're like teachers, and we had a long week and all that stuff." Blah 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 blah. And then they get to the good stuff. I come back, don't need anything else, and it's like, yeah, we could use some more drinks, and I had to lend my friend her coat because the only bad thing is it doesn't fit over her boobs. But she said a different word. I was like, okay. So I walked away, came back, and then they started like, he's like, "You're really nice, you know that?" And they started like grabbing my arm. I'm like, okay. Uh, you remind us of my son's friends and all this stuff. I'm like, whoa, dude! Like,
Yeah, this
man,
just turned into an '80s dark sex comedy real quick.
that or a horror movie because if like I would have like,
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
it was like,
Uh,
yeah, sure, I'll go with y'all. And then next thing I know, I wake up in some crummy motel with my kidney missing.
that's how they get you. That's how they
Yeah.
get you.
But those are two teachers in a small town on a happy hour, and I was just like, holy crap, man, y'all have some pent up something or another.
I am a woman, and we also had a lot of nuns as our teachers, so I'll just wait patiently to take my HR notes. Yeah, see, I would think the other way around. That would be way more common. I would think there's a lot more girls who had access to hot-looking dudes. I know there are a lot of teachers who like have the comb over and the gut and stuff, but every now and then there's like some young dude with a looks good in khakis or whatever it is girls like. I don't know, but yeah, I would imagine that there was probably a lot of hot young 30-year-old teachers in the prime of their life. In public school, the bullies were scared of me because of our size. Wow, you're intimidating me right now. And he says, "Did someone say sexy nun?" Is Echo here?
I was gonna say, I was like,
Mhm.
Echo's gonna like materialize.
Yeah, he's gonna pop up taco. Let's transition from taco to Tubi.
Taco
I
Tubi.
didn't think I could get from one place to the other. That was a real Frogger jump. Have you
Well,
seen the new
you know,
Tubi?
sexy nuns. I'm sure there's a sexy nun movie on Tubi.
I damn well, I'm positive of it. And 45 one's about zombie horror nuns, I bet.
Oh.
Have you gone to Tubi recently and seen the new logo and layout?
Uh, Actually, yes. I saw it briefly, and I was like, interesting. Um, I didn't know they were owned by the Lakers.
Yeah. I saw it's someone put the logo up next to the Freevee logo. I don't know if people are familiar with Freevee. It's like
Hmm.
on the Amazon app. Like a lot of times they have stuff off of there. Same exact color scheme, the purple with the gold, and except the Tubi has more of like a '70s font, like kind of a
Mm.
big dots in it. Um, yeah, I logged in the other day to watch whatever I was watching Above the Rim, I think, and I was caught off guard by like just the purple and gold and the weird look of it. Yeah, the Lakers came to mind immediately. The old one was what, black and orange, I think.
Yeah, the old one was like, was it? I thought it was like red.
Oh, see, I always thought it was kind of an orange. It might be like a burnt umber, like a raw sienna.
Yeah, it's like a fiery.
Bust out the box of 64. We will figure this out.
No, well, see the app on my phone is still showing the old logo.
Oh, okay. Yeah, uh, um, the on mine, I have the Firefox browser. When you open a new tab, it shows like the apps you frequently use or the pages you
Mm.
frequently use. And then anytime they change a logo, so like ESPN or like when Max went from HBO Max to Max, the next time I logged in, the logo updated in my Firefox browser. And that's how it did here. I went into the old orange, black, whatever it was. And then it immediately turned to the purple and gold. It threw me off. The layout reminded me a lot of Max, the way the like kind of the way the pages load with the splash page up top and everything, but
Mm.
it's still kind of the page navigates the same as Tubi always did. But it was a weird change. I don't know why they would do that. Um,
I don't know.
was
Maybe
Tubi struggling to get attention in the marketplace? I thought they were doing good.
I don't know. I know, especially with all the HBO shows and stuff they started getting, like even more so. I was like, man, I'm sure this is gonna get more traction with all this stuff
Mhm.
because I think they got like Lovecraft Country and like Westworld, and
Yeah, I saw
um,
those.
they had Dune on there also. The not the '80s Dune, but the recent one. That's,
Oh, the Villeneuve one?
yeah, they had that
Wow,
one.
I didn't know that. Wow, that's cool. Yeah, I saw it was on Netflix, also, the Villeneuve one. Um, the people have started to go see the new Dune, the Dune 2. The early releases are the early word from the reporters, or what do you call it, the critics who got early screenings. Man, that was difficult to get out of my stupid head. The the critics who saw the early screenings this week started talking about it, and so far everybody's like pleased. Like I haven't heard any in-depth descriptions of the story, but we know the story. We already saw the first movie, so all right, I take it you're super excited for this new one.
Oh yeah, definitely. I just need to find the time to go watch it. I won't see it this weekend, but I'll probably watch it the following weekend
Okay.
in IMAX. Only because I'm sure the wife is gonna tell me again, like, we're gonna watch it in IMAX, right? Like the first one, we saw the first trailer for it, and my wife turned to me, I'm like, "We're gonna see that in IMAX, right?" I'm like, "Yeah, yeah."
Like how you guys have this side eye relationship of we're gonna do this, right? Yeah.
Like, yeah.
That's movie theater talk right there. I felt like I was in the theater with you guys. Um, I think I saw the first one. It came out during COVID when they had the same. It would release at the theater as the same time as on Max. So I watched it at home that first weekend when it came out, and then later on I went back and saw it at the regular theater after it had been out for like how many ever weeks. I caught it on a Tuesday for $5 or whatever. But that was one of the rare times I watched a movie on the small screen and then went and tracked it down on the big screen because I knew it would be better in the huge presentation. Jeez. Sorry, I almost knocked over my microphone. Didn't mean to scare y'all.
Yeah,
Let's see.
that's one that I was like, I waited, I saw it in the theater, and then I saw it a whole bunch of times on at the time HBO Max. I
Yeah,
was
yeah,
just
I've seen
like,
it.
I have to see this again, and I saw it like 2 days later on Max and stuff. So it's a I loved it, man. I love that film. I can't wait to
That
see the
one's
next one.
fastly becoming a comfort food movie, one where you could just jump in at any time. Because I've seen it on like playing on HBO, and I'll stop and see what point it's at, and then I'll just kind of sit and watch for a little bit, and like the big scope of it and everything. It's such a grandiose movie. It's pretty damn awesome. Professor says Tubi's new design is weird, and yes, there are sexy nun movies on Tubi. I checked for research. Yeah, research. Um, yeah, that purple and gold Freevee Lakers thing. I don't know. It's. I mean, it got us to talk about Tubi, but we talk about Tubi all the time, so I don't really know what they needed to do. Um,
I feel it's
favorite.
because it's more like the people like us, like we are, we're the people that are like they seek out the not so the underground stuff, the underground
Mhm.
movies. Like you find like a bunch of underground stuff there. So I think we as the community, like everybody in the chat here, everybody knows about it. Minus, but the more I guess the normies or whatever you want to call
The
people that
normies,
yeah.
damn regular people and their stupid stupidness. I'm sick of them. Russell asks, "What's your favorite horror comedy, Larry?"
Oh man. That's
That's a tough one. That's a tough grenade to throw in your lap, isn't it? That's
mhm. I mean, because I would say it's. I mean, and these might be obvious ones. It would probably be a toss up between Evil Dead 2 and Shaun of the Dead.
yeah. Those are probably the two king of the hills. Um, yeah, everything else that comes to mind is kind of second tier compared to those. Tucker and Dale versus Evil is pretty
That's a really good
awesome.
one.
Um, I'm a fan of a little known horror movie called Student Bodies that came out in the early 80s. It was one of the
The Brad
first.
Pitt one.
No, a different one. This
Oh no,
came out
no.
in 81. It was one of the first like airplane style slasher movies. It was way ahead of Scary Movie, like
Mm,
20 years ahead of Scary Movie. But it has all the tropes, and the movie itself has like a running counter in the corner of how many people die, like 3, 4, and like the killer will overlook all these easy weapons to get a paperclip and kill somebody with a paperclip and stuff. Like they know all the tropes, and it happens in 1981 before a lot of the tropes are even invented. I
wow.
did a watch along with Gareth from Video Tasties on his channel, so if you ever find it somewhere to watch, feel free to watch along with me and Gareth. But he and I had a rousing discussion about the influence of that movie on other horror comedies going forward.
I think
Also, I dig Leslie Vernon, Behind the Mask. Have you seen that one?
I've heard of it. I keep hearing about that one, but I haven't seen that one.
Yeah, it's very good. It's like a fake documentary about a guy that wants to be a horror movie slasher, hero or whatever, like a iconic slasher. And the documentary follows him around.
Now, let me ask you this: would you consider Monster Squad a horror comedy, or would you call that more of a like? What would you categorize that?
Yeah, I guess I would kind of have to. I mean, just because of the subject matter, I think of its comedy way more than horror, but it has all those universal monster elements to it. So you kind of have to consider it horror. Yeah, I guess I would call that horror comedy but it's so low on horror. There are
Mm.
scary moments or like monster moments, but there's like in Tucker and Dale, like people get cut up by a buzzsaw or, like stuff like that happens. That's where Monster Squad is almost just like kind of Goonies with the Universal monsters.
Yeah.
But yeah, Monster Squad is up there as a classic, awesome one. Um, by that note, I mean, you can go Beetlejuice or,
Mhm.
even to a certain extent, I guess Edward Scissorhands lives in kind of a bizarre one. What about Idle Hands? Did you ever see Idle Hands?
Yeah, that one was okay. There's certain parts that made me laugh, but I don't know. I liked more of the horror elements of it, like the whole hen thing, that stuff. It kind
Mhm.
of, but it did kind of remind me. That part of it reminded me a mix of like Evil Dead, you know,
Yeah, yeah.
with the
Or
hen. Like,
Michael Caine was in a movie I think called The Hand, which was like the same type of thing where a hand is like always crawling to get somebody or whatever. Um, that one's funny because I like the premise that idle hands are the devil's workplace or
mhm.
whatever, and then this stoner's hand eventually attacks him because who's more idle than some stoner sitting around, right? So, like that's a funny bit of business, and it's his non-masturbation hand that goes evil. So it's like the hand that does absolutely nothing. That's the one that attacks everybody.
I
Professor says Gremlins and Evil Dead 2. Yeah, Gremlins is a good choice because that is horror and comedy. Kara says recent one was Totally Killer. I haven't seen Totally Killer
That
yet. I
one's
heard
good.
that's what I heard. Yeah, people keep saying it's stuff to check, but
Yeah,
I
I
need
saw
to see
that
that.
one. I actually did a double feature. I saw the unrated version of Megan, which, eh, and then I saw Totally Killer, and I was like, wow, this is actually pretty cool. It's like a Back to the Future slasher movie.
Yeah, that's what I had heard that it was a kind of a time travel whatever. But yeah, slasher thing. I think isn't oh god, what was that one? It was a Christmas movie, I think, or was it Thanksgiving? I think it was a Christmas movie. Oh, Deadly Night or some crap. It was just out. Was as I think it was just out this past Christmas. It's a Wonderful Knife. Is that right?
Oh, I haven't seen that one.
Okay.
Yeah, It's a Wonderful Knife. Yeah.
Okay. See a lot floating around in the old duder's head here. These things don't they get bumped into each other. Our friend Jamie Hart is here. Hello, I'm back. Yeah. So shout out to our purple-hearted friend there. She was recently out at the Universal Studios at the Wizard World for Harry Potter. So
Cool. Cool.
yeah, she may have a house elf or any of that stuff. I'm going to HorrorCon tomorrow. Brody is here.
Nice.
Hey, Brody.
Nice, Brody. How's it going?
um, Jamie, hello. How was your trip? Everybody knows that Jamie was away. We were glad for her to be back. She's for those of you not familiar with our friend Jamie Hart, she's a, beloved member of the horror community. Yeah, folks here are happy that Jamie is back. And everybody's happy that Kara is here and Brody's here. Totally Killer was so good. See, that's our legal counsel even recommends that one. So I'm gonna have to bump that to a
Notary.
notary stamped, approved. Exactly. Damn it. All right. TP from my bunghole. I watched Thanksgiving for the first time this week. I love that too. Yeah, I need to see that one. I need to watch it maybe once or twice, and then around Thanksgiving trick Larry into coming on and watching it.
Oh, I definitely. I mean, that's a yearly watch for me.
Oh,
Like,
look at that.
I'm super into that one. That one's really good. I can't wait for the second one.
Yeah, is that one coming out this Thanksgiving?
I don't know if it's coming out this Thanksgiving, but I know it's supposed to be out this. No, was it gonna be this year or 2025? No, I think it's 2025. It's gonna come out. I think. Yeah, I think
Yeah,
it's 2025. It's gonna come out.
1 year is a short turnaround for a major theatrical movie. But then again, horror movies, you kind of can, write and get done in, 9-10 months. So I don't know. If it came out this year, I wouldn't be shocked, but you would think it would be at least 2. It was fun, great weather the whole time. I didn't get to spend as much time at Universal as hoped, but I enjoyed what I did see. Well, welcome back, Jamie. We missed you.
Nice.
You're beloved, and especially she frequently is up in the middle of the night in my watch alongs. So she's often keeping me company late. I'm going to have to watch Thanksgiving soon. Carol, me, you, and Oscar need to get together and watch that. Best horror comedy, Slither. There's a good one to throw out. Yeah, I guess what do you call it? Night of the Comet, or
Night of the Comet,
Night,
right?
Night of the Comet and Night of the Creeps are probably
Creeps.
both horror comedies that you could stick in there. Slither, yeah, is pretty damn good. Um, um,
Return of the Living Dead.
Return of the Living Dead. There you go. There's another good one. Obviously, the other movies that are Evil Dead adjacent, Army of Darkness and whatnot, but
See, I
except for the
feel like
newer ones.
See, I feel like Army of Darkness. While I do really enjoy it, I still think it's like more comedy, more slapsticky comedy than horror. You know,
Mm.
at least Evil Dead 2, it has a good, in my opinion, has a good mixture of both, of the horror, the gore, and the humor. You know, because the gore is like happening. It's almost like in, am I thinking, Peter Jackson's film?
Oh,
Uh,
Brain Dead or
yeah, Brain Dead.
Dead Alive. Yeah.
Dead Alive, where it's like it's just so over the top, it's hilarious. You know.
Yeah.
And it's just that's how I feel Evil Dead 2 is, but it's a perfect combination. Whereas I feel Army of Darkness is like way, way too over the top, where it's just like too funny, too slapsticky, not too much horror. You know what I mean?
Yeah. The dial is turned up on the fantasy adventure aspect, but the dial is way turned up on the comedy aspect in that one.
Like I said,
Um,
I love it, man. It's
yeah.
a great one, but at the same time, like if I had to choose a legit horror comedy, then I would pick Evil Dead 2.
Well, Bruce Campbell is such like I kind of point out he invents like if you're familiar with Johnny Bravo, the old character cartoon of the guy who's
Hmm.
like way too cool for his own good. Like that's how Bruce Campbell is. Like he's almost like a moron version of Superman. Uh, Jack Burton and is basically that same character. Like he's a guy who's
Hmm.
just handsome and he's very confident in himself, even though he's a damn idiot. Like and fake it till you make it.
Yeah, man.
Um, Russell says his favorite was Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein with the OG Drago Wolfman. Yeah,
Nice.
those were Saturday afternoon classics. They would show those when I was a kid all the time on Saturday afternoons. I love those. The Abbott and Costello Meet ... Folks are catching up in the chat. Professor C says he couldn't get into the new Dune. The drab, muted color palette, the way too stoic, serious acted. Now the colorful, crazy Borderlands movie. That's more my jam. Yeah, Professor and I were talking about this during Seven last night. He's not a fan of the muted, more earth tone films. I like this wall behind me and stuff like that's very muted and boring as opposed to like if this couch was bright red like the way the YouTube logo is. And he likes very brightly saturated movies. They feel more alive to him. We were talking about that during Seven last night with David Fincher's shooting style. So he's at least being consistent. You have to give Professor that. I do love the new Dune though. I have to disagree with him there. That's Villeneuve style. Sicario is like that, and
Hmm.
to a certain
2049.
to a certain extent, that Blade Runner movie. The Blade Runner movie does the same thing Fincher does, where he uses a lot of drab colors, but then he pops it with neon.
Hmm.
So like everything will be very flat and even like this, but then neon bright pink will jump out and steal the whole scene. Even like the light here, that steals your attention, and that's kind of the move Villeneuve does, the old Ridley Scott thing.
Well, see, I was going to mention I was watching the replay of Seven today while I was at work, and yes, I was actually working. I was listening
That
to it.
boy.
So far where I'm at, like I'm surprised you haven't mentioned like Alien 3, because I got to the part where you were talking about Fincher's like color palette and stuff like that. I mean,
Yeah.
if you look at Alien 3 and look at 7, the color palette is like you said, it's consistent.
Yeah.
I mean, he
Lots of
uses like
like earth tones, golds, browns, yellows, lots of like flat reds, and then he picks and chooses where to have popping color.
right.
But yeah, I can see how when he's talking about here the colorful, crazy Borderlands movie. I'm curious to see what Borderlands actually looks like. We talked about it last week with the trailer. I'm not sure. Like I want to know if that's just the trailer or are they really
Mhm.
trying to do a Guardians of the Galaxy knockoff that bad.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I just hope it's good. I mean, it looks good in the trailer. I like I said, I've never played the game, so for me, it's just like I'm going into it, just like okay, going based off of the trailer. it seems like something I could probably have fun with, you know?
I'd only played the game once, but you know, it's a big enough property where I'm aware of it and I recognize
Mhm.
some of the characters of it and stuff. So I knew eventually there would have to be a movie. Um, Brody says he's going to a horror con. He's going to meet Bill Moseley.
Nice.
So yeah. So yeah, obviously the House of a Thousand. Is that 2 or is that 3? Is it 2? I tried to watch the new Dune 2. Didn't care for it either. Kara, how dare you? But I understand if you're not like Larry and I have talked about this before. We're fans of the Dune property, you know, somewhat extent of the David Lynch, but then yeah, the Sci-Fi Channel remake I liked, and the Children of Dune, and all of that. Um, we were talking before about the Jodorowsky's Dune, the documentary about the guy who first tried to make it, and the bright colors. The Dune he wanted to make looked a lot like the Flash Gordon movie that came out in
Mhm.
the 80s. Like it was big, bright, oversaturated colors, like crazy, using
And it
all
would
the
be like
crayons.
and it was gonna be ridiculously expensive to make, apparently.
Yeah, exactly.
So the best way the way I look at it for Dune, how people say it's like drab and everything, or just the color palette. I look at it like this: in Star Wars, I'm like Tatooine again, but then I see
Mhm.
Dune, and I'm like, holy cow! Like he made sand look interesting.
Yeah,
That's how I describe it. I mean, for him to make like a desolate sand, like Arrakis planet like that seem interesting to me, I'm like, man, that's awesome. Because I mean, Tatooine is just like, oh, we're there again. Can't we go somewhere else? Like everything in Star Wars is like ends up at Tatooine. You know what I
yeah.
mean?
That
So
faded out
mm,
desert color and life sucked out of it. Um, Brody also says that he tried to watch it and lost interest too. So yeah, the consensus is me and you are the only smart people there are, Larry. I don't know what to tell you. Um, no, one of the things that impressed me is how good the epic shots looked.
mhm.
Like they would show, like in The Force Awakens, there's a lot of shots of like Triumph of the Will shots where we see these big squadrons of military, and they do that in some of the prequel stuff too. But then Dune does it, and it feels big again.
Mhm.
Like now that we can do CGI, having 300 soldiers stand behind me isn't anything that's a big deal anymore. Back in the day, you would have to actually get 300 people and line them up and make it look right. Um, Lawrence of Arabia is way more impressive than anything they do now because they actually had to do it. They couldn't use computers. And somehow Villeneuve, with the Dune, he makes like the forces feel like imposing, like it feels
Yeah.
like an army. And in some of the shots, actually, like, wow, that's a really cool shot, even though I know it was probably done by an artist somewhere.
Mhm. Oh yeah. I mean,
Um,
even those shots where you see like the sandworm come out, and you see even that big, even just the big like the big ships, or the big like even the things those sand crawlers that are like digging up the spice or whatever, or refining the spice. All that stuff looks like so interesting to me. The designs are incredible. Even
yeah.
the little flyer, the grasshopper looking helicopter things. Those look interesting. To me.
Well,
I don't know.
it was such a weird movie. They made part one on the hope that it would make enough money to generate the desire for people to see a part two. So we weren't even guaranteed a part two when they made that part one.
Mhm.
Um, what was it? The Golden Compass kind of did that.
Yeah.
That was like, yeah, I remember when that happened. Jamie's Hart says that Scary Movie 2 and Tucker versus Dale are her favorites. I'm not a scary movies guy. Out of that the big collection, but there's how many are they even on? 6, 5? I don't even know how many scary movies there are. There's a bunch. The Bud Files. Hello, peoples. Welcome, Bud
Hey.
File. Kara, have you watched any movies recently? Yes, Kara, tell us about what movies you've seen. Scary Movie 2. Everyone still laughs at the guy with the hand. Yeah, was that Christopher Elliott?
Yeah. Christopher Elliott.
Yep. Once again, talking about David Letterman. Let's see here.
I'll
Brody
say
says,
this. Like, there you
sorry,
go.
Brody needed TP for his bunghole, so I just like Titicaca. All right, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, like, so for me, like, I didn't really dig the first scary movie. I would say, if out of all the ones that I've seen, the second one is the one I've seen most, and I haven't even seen all of it. but it's like
Yeah.
that whole part with Chris Elliott is just like, man, he's so hilarious. It's quoted all over the place. Heck, I've even quoted it at work with people. The only other funny part, and I think it's like 3 or 4, is when the guy like, and I think I've told you this before, where the guy pins like Charlie Sheen, Denise Richards against the tree, and then he's like, "Tom, I'll be needing a ride home." Like he's asking him for a ride home, even though he like basically killed his wife.
Let's see. Oh wow, there's Russell calling women Chuck again. We learned last night it's a complimentary term for women.
Oh,
He called Mayanne Chuck last night. She was way confused.
like I like Chucky.
The interactions between him and the wheelchair guy have never been beaten. So yeah, the people here are already in on it. Hey, the Scottish Geek guy is here. Howdy, folks.
Hey, how's it going?
Thank you for dropping by. Slither is one of my favorites too, Jay Harang. Yes. Scottish Greek Cave says Slither is brilliant. Was that James Gunn's first movie? I think his first thing was something for Troma. He was like, I think maybe he was in part of like some sort of anthology thing. I know he originally worked for Troma and he was an editor, and then they did some sort of like best of Troma video thing with like vignettes kind of deal, and he shot one of those pieces. But I don't know about his first feature. That it might be Slither. Jay Herring says, yeah, like his first all the way through, hour and a half, whatever. Yes, Slither is bleeding funny. Yeah, I love Slither's good stuff. Slither, that I immediately brought it up. It reminds me of Night of the Creeps, like with the slithery things. Let's see here. Guy's going to be wearing my ACDC Highway to Hell shirt with Jason Voorhees socks. I'm rocking. Brody already got his outfit picked out. It sounds cool as hell. Do it, Brody. Stay hard, stay heavy, stay metal. Oh,
let's still live by.
I like that you and I both knew what the proper response to that was. A quote from Rob Halford. So shout out to Judas Priest. Making a playlist for 60s films with some horror. Oh, I like that.
Oh, nice.
Brody says Psycho, The Birds, Space Odyssey. There's 3. You're welcome. Brody coming in hot. Must admit, I didn't like Dune in the 80s, and the first recent one really bored me. I really wanted to like both, but I couldn't. See, there you go, Professor. You or Larry, you and I are the only ones. Everybody else, even the professor, just isn't in on it. I own Extended Dune, the TV series, the extended TV series, The Children of Dune with Jane McAvoy. I love the black and white movies, but New Dune just didn't click. Professor just wasn't feeling it. Yeah, I don't know. I liked it because I thought the strangest thing that really fascinated me was the recasting. So like in the David Lynch version, Baron von Harkonnen, is that him? The big dude who floats? Yeah. And then in this one, it's what, Dave Bautista?
No, the one that floats, that's Skarsgård.
Oh, okay, Skarsgård, yeah.
Father Skarsgård.
Yeah, the other one. We have too many in there. But when they added Batista in there, just like looking way more like big and swole or whatever, it's like it was an interesting casting choice. It looks amazing. Yeah, I got you. I feel you. I agree with that. If you're the story does go slow. You have to be, like I said, you kind of almost have to be familiar with the Dune movies to appreciate where they're going. But I could see how some folks would be. Got our 14-year-old girl behind on Dune on the beach in 69. Look at you. Is that a bunch of dirty talk? But I'll double feature both when I can and give it another shot. That's all we can ask, Professor.
Well, it's gonna be a long one, Professor. If you double feature both of those.
I'm gonna need a ride home. Made me fall off my seat in the cinema. It was hilarious. So Jay agrees with you. That was the spot. Tromeo and Juliet was Gunn's first written credits. Was his first written credit. Slither was his directorial debut. Okay, there you go. See, the professor's all over it. Tromeo and Juliet. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, see, I was thinking Tromeo and Juliet, but I didn't realize he just wrote that.
Yeah, I want to say it's called like Best of Troma. I thought it was. I thought he did like a vignette piece, but it's not important. Let's see here. What else been going on in the world of movies and figures for you? I saw this week you released 2 videos. You put out the Gambit, and then today you put out the Predator 2, the Lost Tribe.
Yep, another member of the Lost Tribe, the Ultimate Warrior Predator. Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta shake the ropes. Hey, our friend Katie, popping the
Hey,
popcorn is here.
Katie.
Welcome, Katie. We've been missing you. Katie's been busy with work and other stuff. We haven't seen her around lately. We all love missing Katie. Katie
Yeah, I
was
got.
I believe for both of us, Katie was the first person to put us on screen, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the first person I ever live streamed with was Katie, and the first time Larry ever live streamed was with Katie. We
No,
watched.
first person was you, and then
Oh, was it
Katie
me
after
and
that.
then Katie?
Mhm.
Okay, Katie, gotcha. So yeah, all right, good to know. I broke your cherry. That's important. And hey, there's Echo, Tromeo and Juliet. Good movie, but not as good as The Night of the Chicken Dead. Well, first of all, Taco, and second of all, Echo.
I told you, man, he's gonna materialize out of nowhere. It's
Exactly.
just,
You just have to,
it's
yeah,
a delayed response to the sexy nun thing.
yeah. If it's like if you say sexy nun and Echo doesn't show up, or you say boobs and Professor doesn't show up, something's broken. The internet's not working that day.
Mm-hmm.
I once marathoned all 3 extended versions of Lord of the Rings, so I do have it in me. I have the drive to survive bland doom.
Got Star Wars.
Yeah, it is kind of goth Star Wars. Folks are welcoming in Katie. She says she loves us both. We love you too. I'm glad to see you here. I'm pro. I just got over COVID. How are you? Man, that COVID been going around. I had a cold and I was afraid I had it, but luckily I self quarantined. When I get sick, I don't like to see anybody anyway, so I just lock myself away from the world. But other folks have been getting it too, so it makes me wonder if it had a bout, a resurgence. I say.
Mm-hmm.
It was busy. Professor Macago were hanging out with some nuns in the face. I don't even want to know what that means.
Sounds like a party that I don't know if I want to be a part of.
Yeah, exactly. Canceled early. Yeah. Anyways, back to what we were talking about you earlier with the videos you put out this week. That Gambit one you put out is super cool. The like energy waves out of his hands, where it's like purple and the little cards fly out, and like
Yeah, man, man, that one was really good. That one
yeah.
originally came out in 2021. At the time I missed out on it. So like one of the groups that I'm a part of on Facebook, one of the guys was like, "Oh yeah, I heard it's gonna be restocked." I got an email from Big Bad Toys, and then I replied back. I'm like, "Wait, is this really happening?" And then sure enough, I saw it pop up, and I was like, "Oh man," because I'd been watching it, monitoring it, and then I finally picked it up. Yeah, it's a little bit more pricey than the NECA figures and stuff, but man, totally worth it, man. It was just
Yeah,
I was
super
really not
cool.
expecting how cool it was.
Those like purple plasma blasts or whatever you want to
Hmm.
call them. And it comes with like a couple of different ones, so you can make them in different action poses. And like you, at the end of your videos, you often put the character on like a little lazy Susan type deal, so we can see it spin around, and you change the different blast patterns on his hands while you're doing that. So that was a way cool one. And then today you released the Predator 2 one with uh, 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 which one is it? Part of the Lost Tribe, but which specific one is it?
The Warrior, Ultimate Warrior.
Okay, the Warrior, yeah, the Ultimate Warrior one. And you have now what, like 10 of the, or no, there's 10 of them, and
There's
you
10.
have
I'm still missing 3.
okay, so you got 7 of the 10. You're 70% of the way there. Nice.
I think I need to see which one. I need to go back on my playlist and see which one I haven't reviewed from the Lost Tribe, and then go.
Oh, you've only done what, 6 of the 7?
Yeah, this will be I think this is the 6th one that I've done. So I'm missing one. I need to go back and look in which ones I haven't done,
Okay.
and then I'm missing the last 3, and then I still have some other Predator figures, some older ones that I need to review. But
Look
yeah,
at
man,
you.
it's just and
This
then
guy's got
I'm gonna have some other cool stuff coming in too. So I'm
you got a
like,
backlog. Well, that a boy. That's what I like. You always got the new hot content coming, dropping that hot fire. The face is this year's bulk. It haunts my nightmares. The face says hello, Professor Macabre. I haven't seen the face. Is it a flick that I'm supposed to see? I don't think I want to see it. I work around gross people all day. Never had COVID. Well, what kind of gross do you mean? Like there was a whole discussion about high school teachers and whatnot that was kind of gross earlier, and we got past that. So, but that's part of your HR duties, Kara. I don't know what to tell you.
and then yeah, man, I was watching. I still haven't gone through all of Above the Rim Juice. I've gotten like probably most of the way through Above the Rim, your video.
Are you a Tupac fan? You don't strike me as a Tupac fan.
I like California Love, and then there's that other song. There's another song where he's like, it's like a off track or it's like a deep cut where he's like dissing Biggie.
Oh
And
yeah, hit him up.
yeah, is
Yeah,
that the one? I think
yeah,
that's the
hit
one.
him up. Yeah,
Yeah, that's a
yeah.
really good song. But
Mhm.
no, man, I like some rap, but it's like rap from like the '90s,
Yeah,
late '80s, early '90s, the good rap,
yeah.
not hip hop or whatever it's called now.
You don't like young boy Gucci karate shoes or whatever. You just make up words and just say young boy and then just say gibberish words and you got a
Yeah,
rapper. Um, yeah, no, I was interested. I'd been kind of asking people before I did that Tupac stream, like, "Are you a fan of Tupac?" And I would ask white people, and they would always be like, "Hell yeah, I used to love Tupac, man." So I was like, "Well, maybe there is an audience for these movies. I don't know. I usually do horror or sci-fi or whatever, but I thought I would take a little break for some Tupac."
yeah, man. I
Um,
mean, once you have too many throat rips and stuff like
yeah,
that, and tight pants and mullets and stuff, you gotta change it up.
yeah. I kind of I do so much horror on my channel because that's obviously in the middle of the night, like the best thing to watch. If you're gonna watch something at 1 in the morning, a good scary movie is king. But then, like right there, I enjoy sci-fi, fantasy, and then crime drama. Those are all great middle of the night genres. So I thought I would break up all the horror I watch with a little bit of crime drama, a little bit of sci-fi RoboCop action.
Now, another one I need to finish watching is I think I mentioned it before. I started watching Jacob's Wife on Shutter.
Mm.
I need to finish that one. It has Barbara Crampton in it. It's like so from what I gather, it's like vampires. But
Hmm.
I think I'm like halfway through that. It's pretty good. It's just every time I have it on, the wife and the little one get home, so I'm like, all right, well, I'm gonna have to turn that off. You know?
I'm sorry. The professor he just took the wind out of my sails. This son of a bitch. You um Professor Macabre says, knowing what we know of Jada Pinkett Smith, Tupac really dodged a bullet with her. Didn't have quite as good luck with those other bullets, though.
That's our first cancel attempt for the
Yep,
evening.
we're gonna get finally. It's been 5 episodes. We've been waiting to get canceled. We knew it was gonna happen. I guess this is our last one. Color bar is up now. Boo. No, I actually strangely agree with that entire sentiment. Whenever I hear Jada Pinkett Smith talk about like how her original love was Tupac and she just like belittles stupid Will Smith, like I often think like, man, if Tupac was alive, he would probably not want to be hanging out with your crazy ass. So apparently, Professor's on the same thing, but he had to follow it up with that mic drop moment with the other bullets. Damn you, Professor. Then Jay says, "Nice." All right, Jay would like that one, of
Okay,
course.
well there you go. See, our legal
And then
counsel says
Professor,
it's
yeah. Our Antoine de Soup Shop in Manchester. Oh, I didn't know that. That's interesting. Let's see here. Yeah, there's damn Professor. Um, he completely sidetracked me with his comedy. Last night he pointed out that he was having trouble watching Seven because he hadn't seen 1 through 6. See, that's what I did. I read it and I was like,
pretty
I don't
good.
get it. I get it. um, so yeah, this past week, last week, and after the show. Since then, we've only watched Aliens with Larry, and then we had the above are the two pack of Tupac movies for Tuesday, and then last night we did Seven, and then now here we are tonight. So the channel's been jumping.
Nice,
Um,
man.
Next week we're going to be on your channel though, so I may have to do even more next week to balance out the lack of content. So,
No,
uh,
and then we're in March now. So just I guess, do you want to let people know here about March 12th or
Oh, well, that's the thing. I wasn't sure. We've already agreed that March 12th is what I believe your birthday, isn't it? Or yes, it is. So Larry's going to be
It
taking the day
is.
after his birthday, and we're going to have a special birthday stream with me, him, and Matt, Pugwall 316. We're going to get the band back together, the three bland bitches. What have you decided what movie we're going to watch for your birthday yet, Larry? You threw out a list to me and Matt earlier, but I wasn't sure if we had settled on Subspecies or what.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. I mean, it's what are y'all feeling like watching? It's like me, I can watch all of those. So like how you say comfort food, those are comfort
Yeah,
food films to me. Um, you know, I still say we should have like kept it like, oh, we're gonna watch Cats, and then just all of a
just the
sudden
last minute. Yeah,
just like, oh, psych, we're not gonna watch that. Are
for
you
Horror
kidding
Cat
me?
Dad's birthday, we're going to watch Cats.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, should we put the list to let people know in the list so they can kind of maybe they can vote on it or something, or should I put
Yeah,
it in
go
the
ahead and
community
vote in
tab?
the chat or the comments. Um, what were your list? We had Big Trouble in Little China. We had Subspecies. We had Warlock, right? And then
We
what
had
was
Brain Scan.
Brain
We
Scan. There
had
you go.
Dark Angel,
Oh, Dark
and
Angel, which is also known as I Come in Peace, right? Okay, see
then
that
there was
I'm
also
familiar with it as I Come in Peace.
yeah, Creature from the Black Lagoon,
Oh,
and
yeah.
maybe there's a little bit of a dark reasoning behind like that's tied to it, but or Blade Runner, the original Blade Runner.
Oh, that's right, the original Blade Runner. So
Film.
if any of those in the that we just mentioned jump out as you as one you'd really like to see me, Matt, and Larry tackle, I'm all in on that. But it's Larry's birthday; he gets the final say. He's the birthday boy, so he gets to drink from the fire hose like in UHF. um, happy early birthday, Larry! Yeah,
Thank
woohoo!
you, Professor.
Kara's excited for a three bland bitches birthday reunion. The Jason is cool, Larry. Happy birthday, Larry, from Eric. Two boys in
Thank
the
you,
scary
sir.
pops
So one thing I missed, Eric had a really good
guy.
question last week. Guy, how's it going? Thanks for stopping by, man. Um, Eric had a really good question last week that we didn't get to that I wanted to answer. He said that what is our favorite top three? I think it was like the top three horror movie scores.
Oh wow, that's a toughie. You got your threes already figured out?
Oh yeah, for the most part, yeah. So I'll let you go. I'll let you go
Oh,
first.
don't you dare let me go. You go ahead and go while I try to think.
Well, I've been thinking about it all week. So for me,
Yeah,
it's
that's
like
what I mean. I just got thrown this hot potato. I was unaware. Yeah, you go ahead and let me know your top three.
okay. So top three, and
Suspiria. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
no particular order either. Um, it would have to be The Fog,
Oh,
and then trying to think. Man, I had it all. I had it all in my head, and I was like, yes, it's gonna be this. Um,
I see how it is. Coming here thinking all week, and you don't even have one ready. All right, I'll go. Uh,
well, I had one ready for sure. I know The Fog. I really love that score.
okay, great. We'll go alternate. So
Okay,
yours is that one, and then yeah, I'll go Suspiria as two. I find the score of that to be sort of like haunting and witchy. Uh, what do you like for two, Larry?
for
What's your
two.
second?
Well, I mean, there. I mean, again, this is in no particular
Yeah,
order.
no particular order. Just your Mount three more. Yeah.
I would have to say the next one would be Dawn of the Dead.
See, that was gonna be my next one too. You son of a bitch. Yeah, I'll go Halloween then, because obviously that soundtrack, Halloween and The Exorcist, are probably the two most iconic like pieces of score. Even though Tubular Bells isn't technically part of the score, it's actually soundtrack. But you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying.
Mhm.
All right. So what's your third fave then?
The third fave would probably be. I mean, this third one would be a really hard. It's a toss up because if I had to choose between the two, I mean, it's gonna either be The Thing or it's gonna be oh my god, I just had it in my head too. I was thinking like, oh, it's one of these two. But why am I drawing a blank now?
I don't know. Has it been zapped from your memory? Did Will Smith shake a wavy thing in front of your eyes?
Probably.
No, that's happened to me before.
I got to think
Um,
about it, but it's a toss up between the thing and there was the other one. I got to think about it.
yeah, I like
I,
the thing. I like the original Poltergeist score.
mm,
Um, it's very like whimsical in parts where the movie needs to be like happy and kind of bouncy, but then it's real like dun dun dun. Obviously, Jaws is probably iconic score. The John Williams. Yeah. Some of the people in the chat have been waving in. First, Eric wishes you the happy early birthday. Our guy does wishes you the happy early
thanks,
birthday.
guy.
I bet Eric does too, actually. He says Sleepwalkers or A Cat's Eye. Yeah, both of those are good. Two Stephen King ones.
Yeah, I do like Sleepwalkers a lot.
Yeah.
And that also has a cameo by Mark Hamill too, right? At the
Um,
beginning.
which one? Cat's Eye?
No, Sleepwalkers.
Oh, Sleepwalkers. Mark Hamill's in the beginning of Sleepwalkers? I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm thinking of Body Bags. Jesus Christ. Yeah, I remember him being in the beginning of Sleepwalkers.
Yeah, it's like a real quick and you miss it.
Apparently. But I'll keep an eye out for him. Creature from the Black Lagoon, I'll wear my mask. So that's one vote for Creature of the Black Lagoon. So the great films, Larry, is those lists that you picked. The Fire Hose. Yeah, Jay knows the UHF. Yeah.
On the marble in the oatmeal.
Kara says that Sleepwalkers is a decent cat movie. Yeah, I would say it's right up there with Cat People. It's one of like the main cat movies of all time. It's way better than Cats. Actually, did that used to be like an old? I think Saturday Night Live had a skit like that where people just kept saying, "I loved this play. It was way better than Cats." Like that was everybody's quote. Echo says he's half here and half elsewhere cooking, so he's teleporting, which is something he often does. Humans in cat face. Happy early born day, Larry.
Thank you, Russell, my man.
When the cats surround the house, though, yeah, that's a good point. Ah, yes. See, that's what you can follow. Flesh for Frankenstein is a great one to watch. I've never seen Flesh for Frankenstein. You seen that one, Larry?
No, I haven't seen that one.
Yeah, that's a new one for me. Is that a Hammer or I don't know? X-rated film Fritz the Cat is a fun to watch. I haven't seen that since I was a child. If you could spend your birthday having a whodunit murder, I'm sorry about that. If you could spend your birthday having a whodunit murder mystery dinner with any three celebrities as well as our celeb, Don, who are you picking? A whodunit murder mystery with any three celebrities. I'd probably have to go with like famous, like fake actor detectives, right? Like you'd have to get. Oh God, what's his name? James Bond from The Glass Onion. Daniel Craig. You got to get Daniel Craig, and then you got to go with. Is Angela Lansbury still alive?
Is she?
Crickets. We all look at each other. I don't know. Is she? If Angela Lansbury is still alive, I want her there. But
you can. I mean, I guess you could have her ghost, right?
Kenneth Branagh, isn't he the new Hercule Poirot?
Oh yeah.
So yeah, we'll go Kenneth Branagh, Daniel Craig, and I don't know the closer, Kira Sedgwick. I don't know who's a famous detective.
Arquette, the medium.
Let's see here. Jay says he'd go with O.J. Simpson, Oscar Pistorius, and Alec Baldwin. And no one lived to tell the tale. Let me see. A sex parody, Flesh Gordon, I saw at the drive-in. Funny. Tourist Trap score is solid. Oh, that's right. We're still waiting on your third score, aren't we? Or did you give us a third score? Did I let you skate?
Well, no. I mean, man, it's so hard because it's like I love the original Halloween score. I love The Thing a lot, and I have those on vinyl, and it's just like I'm thinking of all the vinyls because I only have the vinyls that really like the music that really hits me. But right now, for some odd reason, like I was thinking between The Thing and also oh God, the Void.
Oh, okay. Do
It's
you
like it's got that synth, it's just man, it's like awesome.
do you consider the Thing score more Carpenter or more Morricone?
Marconi.
Because obviously Morricone is the credited composer, but they say Carpenter basically remixed his score that he did and like cut out bits and pieces and kind of remix is the best way to DJ
Yeah,
that crap. So who do you
and then
consider the mastermind behind the Thing score? Morricone?
Marconi.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
he just added on to what was already there. Um, another tops on mine. Not a lot of people like this movie, but the Candyman reboot or whatever. I love that score, man.
Oh, I've never
Really,
seen the
really love
Candyman
that one.
reboot.
I liked it. I saw it in the theater during when COVID was still really prominent, and I really, really, really love that movie. And but yeah, the score is just that's the thing that popped out to me the most was just the score for that was amazing. So that's another one that I really love that score. Um, Bride of Frankenstein, like the score to that. Yeah, there's just a lot of stuff, man. There's so many things that it's hard. It was a good question. That's why like I was thinking about it all week, and I was like, I know for sure it's gonna be the fog because I absolutely love that score. It's so haunting, and yeah,
Carpenter, excuse me. Carpenter in general. I mean, it's hard not to think of him like that's part of the what he brings to the table, right? Like he's a good director. Like he's a very competent director. He does a lot of cool stuff. But when you consider the whole package of him, doing the writing on a lot of his stuff, or at least the rewrites on a lot of stuff, as well as the score and the directing and just all of it, it feels like a Carpenter. He's an auteur.
Mhm. I mean, I'd even
Uh,
argue the Season of the Witch score is really good.
yeah, yeah. Carpenter's real good with that. That like it feels like a plane losing cabin pressure.
Yeah,
Let's see here. And I saw that Cat in the Horror movie, dead recently. It's one of my favorite movies. Jennifer Tilly, Karen Gillian, and Alexa Bliss for me would have tons of fun solving mysteries with them.
or
That I
wearing
should have
skimpy
known.
outfits.
It's just Professor just turns in the cast of a Russ Myers movie. I would like to solve crimes with them. Kitten
And
Natividad or whatever her name is.
it'll never
Um,
get solved, but have a good time doing it.
yeah, exactly. The mystery is just on the other side of those mountains. Angela
Which
Lansbury
ones?
ghost. Hashtag Angela Lansbury ghost.
RHR
Professor,
people.
yeah, and that's from RHR. She knows. Fresh for Frankenstein is on YouTube. Eric points out, yeah, Professor Macabro, nice. The boobiest of it's Charlie's Angels with titties is what you got there. Jimmy Page soundtrack to Death Wish. Oh, that's interesting. Jimmy Page soundtrack to for Death Wish 2 is Dog Bollocks. I was unaware that he did both of them. If you could switch places with a famous horror icon villain or a character with Laurie Strode, what would be your choice to switch with? That's tough because in general, I don't really, aspire to be a stabber murder person, but at the same time, I don't really aspire to be Laurie Strode's running for her life ass either. Laurie Strode spent like 40 years running for her life, or at least 30. um, um, I don't know. I would probably have to. I'm sure I could find a good oddball horror icon villain. How about Leprechaun? So I'm festively appropriate for the upcoming St. Patrick's Day. And they're after me pot of gold. What about you, Larry? What would you rather switch place with a famous horror, for famous icon villain? Jesus Christ, mouth work, or Laurie Strode?
Um, I mean, there's two. I mean, I can answer either one.
You can't answer either one,
No,
or
I
you can
can't.
answer.
I can
Okay, give me
answer.
both.
I have an answer for both. So, for the not necessarily Laurie Strode, but I mean for I guess the good guy or good person, it would be McCready
Oh, okay, okay.
because I just love it's the thing, man. I love that movie so much. It is
Oh, you love you
such a
some cold
masterpiece.
weather.
Oh yeah,
You
that
love,
too.
yeah, you love a
And the
snowy, isolated resort.
beard and the mane, it's like I wish
Oh,
I could have that.
yeah. If you're gonna trade places with anybody, Kurt Russell in The Thing is just about perfect. The hair, the beard, the coat, the sombrero, the
Yeah.
welder's goggles, all of it. It's a look that would be great.
JMB, drinking that all day. Oh, I forgot about that one too. Russell just brought up a good one, a good score. But yeah, I'll get back to that. But
Oh, that's right. I see Russell, the Tangerine Dream. There you go.
I love the score for the Keep. That
Oh,
one's a
okay.
really good one too.
Awesome. I
Yeah,
agree with
that's a
that.
really good score. As
Eric
for the what?
Eric was nominating me to be Ash in Evil Dead. I will always take it. I'm still trying to
I can
get
see it.
that Reed. I'm trying to get in on that Reed Richards Fantastic Four thing, and they won't call. I'm like, somebody, please. But if not, I'm trying to be Jacob Goodnight in See No Evil, Hear No Evil 5 or whatever they're on. So sorry. There was the Tangerine Dream. Another movie idea: Macabro's Demons, a sexy nun, a big booby goth girl, a zombie Asuitos, and fighting crime and solving mysteries. There we go. I think we have another a trailer coming soon. For those of you, I believe we mentioned it last week. Professor Larry and I were talking about how the wild turkeys are crazy beach ball looking creatures, and I have a weird proclivity to wanting to kick one really bad. I know it's wrong. I know PETA is going to be upset with me. I don't want to hurt one. I just kind of want to kick one like a beach ball really bad. So
And then cook
the
it.
professor made a horror movie, Blood Gobble, a trailer for a killer turkeys film to be watched on Thanksgiving. So I recommend you go to our friend Professor's channel and check out Blood Gobble. Larry even made a mock design for a T-shirt for it. The whole thing took on a life of its own. So it sounds like we got another one in the works. Okay, back to the soundtrack question. What else you got for me, Larry? Besides Tangerine Dream, any others?
Oh no, for the I'm sure there's more, but going back to the hero villain, who I want to switch
Oh yeah,
places
yeah.
with. I would pick. Actually, I would pick Jason
Okay.
for the slasher. I would pick Jason.
He's kind of, tough and badass, but he does spend a lot of time just chilling at the bottom of a lake. That would get dull. Like just chained by the neck at the bottom of a lake. I don't know. Waiting for an electrical
Well, I
cable
mean,
to strike you up.
I'd I'd get my steps in, walking around the woods,
There you
keeping
go.
people
Look,
off my land.
always looking for your fitness. I appreciate that. Um, Kara points out we're talking turkey. Blood Gobble was pure gold. Those chicken fuckers. Yep. Let's see here. Larry the Keep and Legend with Tim Curry as Darkness are good ones. Yeah. 2-for-1 deal. Also need to get on filming the Werecrow one that was also mentioned in another stream. Oh, Werecow. Sorry, Werecow. I added
Where
an R in
cow?
there. Yeah, that was a professor's idea. The moo that somebody gets bit by a cow and then turns into a werecow. So, oh, that's a good one, Russell. The
Yeah, that's a good
Maximum
one.
Overdrive with ACDC. That one is
Who made
extra.
who? Who
Yeah.
made who?
Well, even just the score aspects of it, where they do almost the psycho sting, that
Yeah,
but they do it with the guitar, so it's like
yeah.
like it. Yeah, it's a trip. It's only could be conceived by someone on a whole bunch of cocaine and Jack Daniels. So
Well, I mean, if we're gonna go that route, I mean, you can also argue the um, the soundtrack for oh my god, Nightmare 3.
oh, with Dokken,
Mhm.
yeah, the Dream Warriors.
Yeah, man, can't go wrong with that.
Um, Also, last night when I watched Seven, a bunch of that soundtrack is Trent Reznor stuff. So that's kind of got like a techno backbeat to some of the scenes. Let's see here. If you could build somewhere on the property of your house to have a replica movie scene of your choice, what would you pick?
Oh my
What would you
god.
like? You want a Death Star in your backyard, Larry?
Oh man, that's hard. That's a really good question because it's like, I, yeah, and then my number one favorite movie of all time. I don't think many people know this is Empire Strikes Back. That'll always be my favorite movie of all time. Um, so like that whole scene where he's holding his hand out to get Luke to like have him join him. That whole scene right there. It's one of my favorite scenes. And then but then there's also Blade Runner. I love the aesthetic of the original Blade Runner, even 2049. But I just love that lived in world where it's just so dystopian and built on from previous like technology or old dead technology.
Well, what would you have from? Well, if you did Empire Strikes Back, you'd do what? That walkout thing that Luke was hanging on to,
Mhm.
and then if you did Blade Runner, what would you do?
I would do I would do I would do Terrell's building, Terrell Corp.
Oh, okay. The
I mean,
pyramid
I
kind of
don't I
thing.
don't have enough property to do that, but I mean, if we were
Yeah,
doing small scale, then yeah, I could probably fit it in half of my backyard.
that's what I was thinking. I would probably go. I'd probably go Batcave because it would be a must. And then you could maybe even have off on the side like a Yoda cave. You get Batman and Yoda in
Mhm.
one. But yeah, the Bat Cave. I don't know if I would do the Tim Burton Bat Cave or the Adam West Bat Cave. I might do the Adam West Bat Cave. That might be a lot of fun.
'Cause I was just about to
Um,
ask you when you said
yeah,
Batcave, I'm like, which Batcave?
yeah. The Tim Burton one is so cool because it's got waterfalls and stuff in it. But the old iconic one with uh, the Batmobile on the turntable, the Lazy Susan, where you drive in and then it spins around so you
Mhm.
can drive back out. Like, oh, that would be cool. Um, I don't know, maybe like a back porch, like the bridge of the Enterprise. That might be interesting. Like you got the captain's chair, and you got a couple chairs on the
Mhm.
side. You got the big TV for watching sports and stuff. Like I could dig that. Um, um, Maybe if you had like an old shed out back where you kept like your like lawnmower and like some of your like lawn tools and stuff. Maybe a shed that's an exact replica of the Evil Dead shed. So only the real cool people would actually get it. Everybody else would just think you have an old janky shed back there. But when
Just
you
have
went
the
inside, and yeah, the swinging chainsaw and all that stuff, yeah, and then the
and then
light
the
with blood on it when you turned it
yeah,
on, all of that.
and then the Freddy glove tucked in somewhere.
Yeah, exactly. And the ripped, oh, that's in the basement. The ripped Hills Have Eyes poster. Um, yeah, those are the big ones that jump to mind. I'm trying to think of any other. Mm, like, is there anybody with like an iconic apartment or anything that I would recognize? Like, Dana's apartment from Ghostbusters or something. Like, is there one that's like super iconic? Yeah, I guess the firehouse from Ghostbusters might be cool to have in your backyard. Use it as a garage or something.
Yeah, that'd be cool. No, in regards to the Batman, the Adam West Batcave, I was gonna say what was really cool about that compared to a lot of the other Batcaves. For some odd reason, it felt more like a science lab, and I don't know.
Yeah.
I love that look of it. That I used to be a huge like when I was little, loved science. So seeing like all the science, almost like technology and stuff, it seemed more like a science lab Batcave. You know.
They often like labeled everything. So like it would say
Mhm.
bat computer, but then it would say like bat phone, bat transmogrifier, bat microwave, bat VCR. So like the labels on everything I think would just be kind of cool. And then like I think if you walked in the Adam West Bat Cave, you would recognize it right away. But if you walked in the Tim Burton Bat Cave, you might just be like, "Wow, you got kind of a cool little hidden lair down here, don't you?" Like, "Oh no, it's an exact replica of the old Michael Keaton
You
Batman."
don't see the suit.
Yeah, exactly. Turkey is my most used emojis, no because of this. Gobble gobble, you chicken fucker. Let's see here. The basement in Freddy's boiler room. Oh
Ooh,
yeah, there you go. That'd be cool. Like if you went down somebody's basement and it looked like Freddy's boiler room, that'd be pretty cool. And then Russell, ooh, look at you. You found two good ones, Russell. Jay, that would be a cool one to have. 6 away from 800 subs to beat a shirt. I'll shout out Madam
nice.
Holy Talk and gain some new subs. Yeah, slowly chipping away at it, guys. With all your help and between this show that Larry here invented, you guys have been getting me lots of exposure that doesn't have me ending up in jail like my usual exposure does. So shout out to you guys in our quality HR department.
And our legal counsel, Jay Harang.
Yes, exactly. Your Honor. Hang on, I just remember they made a movie about Joseph Fritzl, and I assume that underground apartment had better soundproofing than the boiler room. Oh, okay, so there you go. He's looking for a good murder den, as he's looking for. He's using this exercise as a way to get away with crimes, and that's why I like Jay. That's why he's legal counsel.
Right.
The Twisty Tim Rack in Saw 3. I don't think I want anything from Saw movies in my life. If I won the lottery, I wouldn't tell anyone, but there would be signs like a home movie theater and a full-blown Halloween decor so as to watch all my spooky movies on a big screen properly. Yeah, that's why I was saying the Bridge of the Enterprise would be a dope one, or like maybe the Next Generation Enterprise or something, because I like that huge like monitor. I can watch all my sports and watch a couple TVs on it, and got the big captain's chair. Professor, a definite must. Eric says The Apartment in Rosemary's Baby. That's a good one.
Interesting.
What about The Bar in Gremlins? Mellow Mutant is here. Hola, amigos.
Hey, man, how's it going? I'm gonna do you one better. The bar from Roadhouse.
Okay, the Double Deuce. Yeah, if you were like, hey guys, I have a sports bar out back, and the Double Deuce was out there, and Jeff Healey was just playing.
Right, an animatronic Jeff Healey.
Yeah, an animatronic Jeff Healey, just like old Showbiz Pizza or Chuck E. Cheese or something, except it's Jeff Healey just creepily playing the guitar. Werewolf Film Company of Wolves. Let's see. All righty, HR rep out. See y'all next week. All right, Kara, I appreciate you being here and taking off just in time before I got naked. I agree with the professor about the soundtrack for Resident Evil. Folks are welcome and mellow. I love the idea of a bat cave, but all that bat poo would need a hell of a lot of bat air fresheners. You a bat boy. Yeah. Eric says he's got a bunch of turkey emojis. Yeah, actually, I think turkey emojis is now in like my main favorite ones, primarily because of all these turkey references. Goodbye, Kara. Hello, Mellow Mutant. Hello, Russell. I watched Dune 2 last night. Not a masterpiece, but damn close. So we got another one on the side of Dune with Mellow Mutant.
Nice.
Eric says Kelly Lynch is in the bar. So hey, there you go.
There you go. See?
That she got too good of an ass to be that smart, or whatever the hell Samuel says. Wasn't the OG Telly show Batman and Love the Green Hornet because of the late Bruce Lee, but the remake sucked. Yeah, true. Take care, Kara. Yeah, I think it's probably a good place for us to get wrapping it up too. It's 15 after 7. We've been on for an hour and 42. Jeff Healey is a Canadian icon. Him and Bret Hart.
And Rob.
And Rob. That's the order. It's well, I think it's probably Alan Thicke, then Rob, then Jeff Healey, then Bret Hart. That's what I'm going with. Next week, be sure to let us know your 5 favorite Canadians. Russell is ahead of Bret Hart. I'm sorry. I take that back. I never watched the remake of Green Hornet. I never saw it either.
Yeah, that's Seth Rogen.
Yeah, that's what turned me off. He didn't feel like the Green Hornet at all. That's why I never saw it. But wasn't it directed by like Michel Gondry or something? Like I think it was.
I don't know. I just know that I was like, oh my god! It's like really.
Yeah, it originally was supposed to be Shaun of the Dead. Why am I trying to?
Edgar Wright.
Edgar Wright, thank you. It was supposed to be Edgar Wright, and he was working on it forever. Same with Ant-Man.
Yep.
And then eventually, you got to do it. So with Green Hornet, it like popped around for a while, and eventually, I think Michel Gondry directed it. That's the only reason I ever wanted to see it, is it seemed like it was kind of maybe artsy. Nev Campbell is Canadian. Mm-hmm. There you go. She is? Never knew. Seth Weed, LMAO Rogan. Yeah, that's pretty much his whole gig. Although I can't be too mad at the guy. Just yesterday, I had to make a ride out to the dispensary in Illinois, and I got a big fat sack of Pineapple Express. So shout out to Seth Rogen. But I think that's
or Danny McBride.
Or Danny McBride, exactly. We'll call it Danny McBride. So other than me talking about transporting illegal narcotics across state lines, I think it's probably time to wrap up. The HR isn't here, although I did admit it to our legal counsel. So I'm pretty sure that I'm protected by client lawyer privilege.
Confidentiality.
Yeah, exactly. I think I'm totally free on that one. But yeah, Professor, thank you for joining us, and thank all of you for joining us. All of you, as per usual, the chat makes it. It's the actual co-host, I say. Larry and I are here just to moderate you guys. But I thank you so much for joining us. Next week, we will be on Larry's channel for episode 6, assuming we're not canceled by anything said in this week. I'm sure that stuff about teachers is going to come back to haunt us, right? We're going to get in trouble for that.
It'd be like shorts going everywhere about it. There's gonna be reels on.
Can you believe these two? Yeah, exactly. Once again, just way over our heads, out of our depth. Our controversial opinions on Tubi are bound to get us canceled.
And the Crow.
Machine Gun Kelly is probably at my front door right now. But I thank all of you for joining us. Mellow Mutant for getting here. Jay Harang, Eric, Guy, Jamie Hart was here. Who else? Monroy was here.
Brody
was here. Kara, of course, the HR department. You can't go wrong with that. Yeah, so many of our awesome friends that we're lucky to have in our community, and I recommend all of you check them out. Appreciate the stuff that they do. Yes, Russell says, night, Larry, Don, and chat fam. Had a great time. Thank you, my friends.
Thank
night,
you, guys.
Larry,
thanks again for coming and, hanging out with us for now 5 weeks in a row, man.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We're still not canceled. I don't know how, but it's long overdue. Jay says, see you next week, guys. Yes, you will, Jay. We look forward to it. You're always a pleasure, my friend. And I think that's a good time to wrap this up and start our weekends. Everybody's working for the weekend, as Loverboy said. So,
exactly.
So thank you all for joining us. Larry, you the man. Let me get the high five. Nice. We nailed it this week. We're getting so much better at this. And green grass and high tides forever, my friends. Adios, amigos.